members of the jury, and my friends in the opposition. Today I stand here to speak for the motion democracy has hampered economic growth. As citizens of India, it is no surprise to us the constant scams and majority appeasement that dominate the political headlines of democracies. This can be easily interpreted to mean a failure in the very idea of a democracy, in not being able to provide for separation between policymakers and short-run, poke-barrel politics. What I mean is that politicians, instead of focusing on policies that will lead to positive trends in the country's economy in the long run, or policies that will please voters or legislators and win public affection. It is also widely known that authoritarian governments are almost always better at resource allocation and central planning. Take the Soviet Union, which was considered the champion of central planning. In 1991, when the country transitioned into a democracy, the economy did horribly through most of the 90s. From 91 to 98, it lost over 30% of its GDP and faced numerous bouts of inflation. Russians also saw their disposable incomes rapidly decline. It is no mere coincidence that at the exact same time, an authoritarian government in China did excellently. Similarly, Iraq and Libya became failed states after their dictators were overthrown by the US and NATO under false pretenses. Spain had the highest growth rate after Japan from 1959 to 1974, and this boom came to an end right after the country transitioned into a democracy. And to counter every claim my opponents might make, I state these facts. In the 1970s, the most rapidly growing country was the military-ruled Brazil. In the 1980s, the economic tigers were the dictatorships of South Korea and Taiwan. And in the 1990s, China was the leader. Moreover, the delays in decision-making in democracies, which can be exasperating when quick decisions are needed, is evident from the introduction of GST in India. This tax reform was introduced in the year 2000 and actually implemented in 2017. To conclude, I would like to quote New York Times columnist Tom Friedman. Non-democracies certainly do have their drawbacks, but when they are led by a reasonably enlightened group of people as China is today, they can also have many great advantages. That one party can impose politically difficult but critically important policies needed to move a society forward in the 21st century. Also, as a footnote, I would like to add that every question about the problems in a democracy cannot be answered with the fact that the question can be questioned. Thank you.
Thank you. 2 minutes, 48 seconds is all that it took. Now, questions. Okay, over there.
In a non-democratic government, people don't enjoy the right to make choices. This leads to a feeling of oppression among the population and causes lack of foreign investment, leading to economic slowdowns. What is your opinion on this?
Lack of foreign investment.
Leading to economic slowdowns.
I would like to quote the.
Are you reading it from his speech?
No, this is my own.
This is yours.
Yeah.
Okay, just cut it short.
Okay, basically I'm asking you that in a non-democratic government, people don't enjoy the right to make choices. So this leads to a feeling of oppression among the population. What are your opinions on this?
I would like to quote the example of China, which basically introduced the concept of special economic zones, and also Robert Barrow, distinguished economist, who said more political rights do not mean economic growth. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.